I want to read from the Gospel of John, chapter 3. Jesus is talking to Nicodemus, and he says this: Verily, verily, I say unto thee, except a man be born again, he cannot see the kingdom of God. The subject is being born again. And of course, Jesus was speaking about spiritual birth. Man sinned and separated himself from God spiritually. So spiritually, we were dead, or we are dead in trespasses and sins until we are born again spiritually. But notice what Nicodemus said about this. He said, how can a man be born when he is old? Can he enter the second time into his mother's womb and be born? It seems kind of funny for him to say that when we think about it, because it's obvious that that could not happen. We are born physically one time, and that's it. There's no way that we could ever be born physically again. It happens one time. And that's the point I want to make about spiritual birth. When we are born again spiritually, it happens once, and that's it. There's no other chance for a person to be born again spiritually after he's been born again spiritually. It happens once. Therefore, if anybody teaches that a person can lose their salvation, then they're teaching also that they would have to be born again spiritually if they want to be saved and go to heaven. That's the kind of thinking going on out there about salvation. And birth spiritually happens one time, just like it does physically. So we have to deal in the believer's walk with their sin in another way than to say that they'll lose their salvation and not be able to go to heaven. We'll have to talk about the walk of a spiritual man and how that could cause some problems for him at the judgment seat of Christ. And yet, we must understand that it only happens one time for the believer, and only one time.